No graffitis has been seen in Egypt for decades. But after the fall of Mubarak, young artists conquered again the streets and squares. This film tells their story.
كان فاكر حكمه يوم هيخليه في أعلى مكان ويوم كمان.
Actually, first I found the creativity of the people on the street, this kind of explosion of creativity. People were painting streets and stopping the whole traffic and making jokes with donkeys about the police, and so it was very cheerful atmosphere. But at the same time, then police came and to clear the Tahrir Square, and then they shoot with tear gas, and the mood changed immediately, and it was very dangerous, and people getting very aggressive, and so for me it was very, in a way, exciting, and very, and you could be in the middle of it from the very early beginning. So I was thinking this is a great film.
You know, in all honesty, there at the time when Marco first came, they were just like, you know, everyone and their mother wanted to make like a film about the Egyptian Revolution, but they would come, show up, and they would want to film for like 1 week or 2 weeks and expect to make a film about a revolution in Egypt, you know. But Marco was the only guy who was like pretty much around on and off for like 2+ years. My instruction was to avoid him entirely, because in the middle of all these things, it's you don't want someone with a big camera around. And Marco, when he first showed up, he had this really big, right? You later got the smaller, but when you first showed up, you had this really big film camera.
That's what I had. They had no budget, so I had to use what I already had.
So you don't want someone with a really big film camera around you when you're doing all these things, and you need to be fast, and you don't want to get caught. So I was like avoiding him.
But we did in the night.
All possibility, but he was very persistent.
I had no money. I had to do everything myself. Producer, director, cameraman. Normally I'm working with a team, but in that case I had to do it. I even could not use a tripod because I could not pay somebody who carried a tripod. I tried at the beginning to give it to a friend of one of the protagonists, but next day another friend came, and then I didn't find my tripod, and then so I really fit myself to the situation. That very often you have to run because it was dangerous, so you could not have too heavy equipment, and so I shaped all the equipment for this kind of guerrilla shooting. The Kappa has said, if your pictures are not good, you are not close enough, and you have to become very close. And there are a lot of the situations where people say, "Oh, stop filming, let's go." I say, why? Nothing happened. I didn't have the right shot. Let me shoot. And then sometimes at the beginning, sometimes I escape with them, but really at the end, I don't do that because I was so angry when I missed a shot because I was escaping too early, so that I stay longer to get the real picture.
I mean, now of course it's far more difficult because it's very clear that the revolution has failed, and that we have a war criminal at our hands now ruling the country, and the way they're going about it is far more brutal than anything we've seen, and so it's far more difficult now to do it, but it's necessary still.